Make sure you stay close to your opponent as well. You don't want to go too wide. Close. Close. You can't get the sides, so you have to change the angle and get the middle. And that one just helps you get into the position. No power, just get you around. Power. That's the power one, yeah. Give that a try. It's difficult when you've not got the body belt on, but put the pads just like that. Touch body. Touch body. If you've got your pads there, shift. There. So it's like, yeah, and just change the angle, yeah? Give that a try. One of my favourite, I was known for my body punching. One of my favourite combinations was, the me left up to the body, And what I always tended to do first, what I'd do is I'd touch him on the head. So obviously bring the hands up and then drop the body shot down there. But and what I'd do, touch, yeah? So what we can do is difficult when you've not got a body belt. But what I always find is if you touch him to the head first, bring the hands up to get the rib. And it's the same with your right hand. Touch there, touch, right hook, yeah? So what you do with your partner, just touch and then blast, yeah? Touch, yeah. Yeah, so if you're holding the pads, there for the left hook, there for the body shot. And after he's thrown that hook, just bring that one down there, yeah? So go for it, there, that's it again, there. And we'll do it on the other side as well, yeah? Touch body, touch body, touch body, touch body, yeah? Give that a try. It's difficult when you've not got the body belt on, but for the pads, just like that, touch body, You notice when I go, touch, step, bang, touch, step, to get more leverage in. Also, if you step, what's your head doing? Your head's not stood still in it on the line, you know what I mean? So touch, yeah.
For the body.
Yeah.
Is that usual?
Yeah.
Second
yeah.
step? Or?
Sometimes, depends what position your opponent's in. If your opponent's coming forward, you touch, send. But if his feet are still, you don't need to step, yeah? Okay. So in the heat of the action of the fight, which one you want to use, you know what I mean? Good. Move your partner around. Back off and then let them come in. We're working on body punching at the minute. We've worked on the left jab. You know what I mean? Most important punch in boxing is the left jab, always has been. You know what I mean? We've been doing the combinations there, and now we're just doing the body shot, which this is probably my favourite combination. I used to just touch him to the head, to bring the hands up and then drop down to the body. So signature move, yeah. And another one one of my favourite combinations was, if you watch me fight, that one was one we've just done. Touch, body, and then sometimes, I used to change the angle, to get up the middle, yeah. So what you're gonna do with your partner, right up to the body, change the angle, left, yeah. And it's like, so it's easier on the body belt. It's a shame we've not all got a body belt. But you'd box, and then I'd go, up, yeah. So what you do, right, that's it, and the right, use the right, not necessarily for the power, just to get yourself in the position. The only one you're bothered about doing the damage is the last one, but that helps get you into position, doesn't it? You shift your body weight, spring round, and that's the fight ender, yeah? So if you like you say, it's a shame we haven't got a body belt, but if you've got your pads there, shift, there. So it's like, yeah, and just change the angle, yeah? Give that a try. You can't get the sides, so you have to change the angle and get the middle, yeah? Make sure you stay close to your opponent as well, yeah? If you go too far wide, they stick a counter in on you, won't they? That's it, nice and close, yeah? That's right, yeah, perfect. And what you do, you don't want to go too wide, because, close, yeah. Yeah, no, there. And that one just helps you get into the position. No power, just get you around, power. That's the power one, yeah. Yeah. Make sure you go right round. There you go. Yeah.
What made you want to get into fighting?
Well, normally it's passed down through the family, isn't it? No one in the family ever did boxing. It was mainly a football family. But I was getting bullied at school, and my mum and dad were always, tell the teacher, don't be fighting, tell the teacher, tell the teacher. But he was beating me up every day at school. So one of my mates said, he boxes for the boxing gym down the road and like that. So I went, all right. So I joined the boxing gym, not necessarily to box, so I could, I'd have a spar with him and beat him up because my mum and dad wouldn't let me do it at school. And I did first few sessions, you know what I mean. He got the better of me, but then in the end, I started getting the better of him, and then I was hooked. Then, you know, on the sport. Funny enough, the same person that used to beat me up is one of my best mates now. So that was such is life. The body belts are more advanced these days, because that one's solid, yeah. And Billy Graham's was very wide, and sometimes, you know, with body punching, you can't punch wide. I mean, it didn't do bad for me, did it? But I mean, as boxing's advanced and equipment's advanced and stuff like that, you can make them like, you've got to stay close with your body punches. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But you also needed a big one for him, right?
Yeah. This is what I was famous for, you know, the body punching. Billy Graham, my trainer, had a body belt, and I wouldn't like to say how many rounds I've done over the years on this, but yeah, you know, Billy Graham used to hold his hands up, you know what I mean? You know, jab, 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 and then. So you know, you'd box, you pop, 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 and then pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 yeah.
Lovely. Was it getting levered by Ricky Hatton?
Yeah, but it was good, but it was sore. It was painful.
You still feel it?
Oh, what? He's so sharp. I can't believe, like, his movement and his patterns and angles, so good. Like.
Is it still better than most professional fighters you'd even hold past for today?
Oh yeah, his footwork and his angle selection's unbelievable. Even his jab to the body, the way he steps through the shot, that's really strong. And I know he's not even really trying. That's him. I wouldn't like to see him after full camp, in his prime. It would be scary stuff. Like.
Just basically keep your nerve, you know, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, you're nervous, your opponent's nervous, and at the end of the day, if you're like on an even keel like that, it's that one who can keep under cool, can't it? You know, to be under the most pressure. I mean, I used to box in front of like massive crowds, didn't I? You know what I mean? You know, I boxed at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester for 60,000 fans were there, and I think the best bit of advice, you know, sometimes you used to walk out, when you walk from the changing rooms to the ring, you're walking out and you think, shit, you know what I mean? But you've got to keep your nerves, you know what I mean? It's going across America, across the UK, going all over the world. You're fighting live in front of thousands of people. And it's very easy for you, you know. I think that's the difference between being a champion and not being a champion. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to deal with that. And I was always, I used to buzz off the crowd, I used to thrive with the crowd. No, not play to the crowd, because sometimes that can drop you in trouble if you play to the crowd. But I used to, that was the one thing I miss. You know, it's the most nerve-wracking thing, walking from the changing room, when you're in the tunnel and your opponent's waiting for you and the announcer, and you're walking from the, you know, through the tunnel to the ring. And every time I used to think, what the fuck am I doing this for? It was the most nerve-wracking thing. But when you retire, that's the thing you miss most. That rush, that adrenaline, that nervousness, that kick. When you retire, you know, at the time you think, well, what am I doing this for? But then when it's gone, that's the one thing you miss. But I just think it's just holding your nerves and remember your game plan, what you've been working in your training camp. You know what I mean? Because there's no point if the crowd, you've been working on this tactic, that tactic, and then you go out and you know what I mean? It's very, and that's most people at the top level, they can do that, you know what I mean? And that's what separates them, I guess. I would say Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, when you think of Floyd Mayweather, we probably go down as arguably the best of all time. I mean, Muhammad Ali would always be the greatest, but I mean, from a technical ability, boxing point of view, you'd probably have to say Floyd Mayweather. Bit of a dickhead, like, but no, credit where credit's due. And I always used to, my body punches, I could normally land it on a 5-pence piece, you know what I mean, my body shot. But with Floyd Mayweather, he was so good defensively, do you know what I mean? And I thought, to be honest, if I was I don't think the referee allowed me to get close to him. He kept breaking me and breaking me. He was from Floyd's hometown, Las Vegas, so the referee was, so I don't know what I was expecting, but it's the first time I couldn't, you know, he'd pick the body shots off, you know what I mean, and I'd change the angle and he'd step round, and you know, he was just, and it's the first time after the Floyd Mayweather fight, I wasn't happy with the referee. I thought the referee didn't do me any favours, but it's the first time I've gone in my changing rooms after the fight and been sat there and thought to myself, Jesus Christ, he was good. and he was, and yeah, you know, it's like, you know, I work on the body punches like we just done there, the changing the angles, but because of what Floyd, how he counteracted my body punching, I do, you know, there's a million and one things I can show you and what we can do, but you know, I worked so hard on doing what Floyd did with my fighters, you know, when that body shot comes dropping over, do you know what I mean, and taking your shoulder around, you know, so just little things like that. So even though he did beat me, he was exceptionally good. I learned a lot from him, and I think it's you learn from what you did right in boxing, but you also learn from your mistakes and your defeats and mistakes you've made, isn't it? And I think that's what is making me a better coach, because I'm not just passing on what I did, I'm passing on what I've learned from the likes of Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he was just an animal. You know what I mean? You wouldn't like to meet Roberto in a dark alley. You know, you just used to look at him, and he was just an animal. And his fighting style was attacking, body punching. You know what I mean? Every punch, he was called hands of stone. Every punch, he wanted to kill you. You know what I mean? And but then he was also a man of the people in Panama. Panama, you know, at the time was not getting on with the United States. You know, the Panama Canal thing. You know, and so he had a lot of problems. He had a bad upbringing. He come from absolutely nothing in Panama. Do you know what I mean? But and he fought, like most boxing stories, he fought his way out of poverty, to be honest with you. And he didn't have a good upbringing. But he was his style was just fantastic to watch. He'd just move in, and even though he was a body puncher and aggressive, and when he come in, his defence was fantastic as well. He'd march him down, not like, you know, like a Floyd Mayweather who would give ground and like that. He'd come in, bash him, but still pick shots out the air. You know what I mean? It was like a work of art what he did, and he was just so. But he was also a man of the people as well. You know, proud of his roots, proud of coming from Panama. Like I've always thanked my fans. You know what I mean? Every time I fought, I always fought. You know, thank my fans. He was a Jack the lad, up and down in weight, like someone else I know. You know, he'd have a pint, he'd win his fights, and then he'd go out and put weight on and everything like that. So I think I've got a lot in common with me, to be honest, because I was pretty much the same. I tried to model myself on him style-wise, but also as a person, because you can't put a price on being loved by your people. Yeah, well, when I first started, I'd lived in the gym. You know what I mean? My first year I had 9 fights. Second year I had 9 fights. So that's pretty much a fight every 6 weeks, pretty much, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So I was in the gym, lived in the gym, and that's what you got to do when you first, you know, when you're first getting your first foot on the ladder. You've got to be in the gym. You've got to be sparring with the champions. You know, improving, working on your strength, your technique, and everything like that. But then once I got to championship level, you only have like 2 or 3 fights a year then. So that meant for bigger gaps and bigger breaks. You know what I mean? And it was the worst thing I could have done, because within the space. So you know, I'd be like that. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks later, I was like that. I wish I could have found the happy medium, but I think I've got a very addictive personality. You know, if I'm going to do anything, you know, I do it 100%. And unfortunately, that was on a night out as well. But I never struggled at making the weight. I used to lose 3 stone when I got to championship level. I used to lose 3 stone every 14 weeks, every fight, which, you know, is like 42 pound, you know, every fight. But I give myself 13, 14 weeks to do it, so I could do it properly. So I never failed the scales, never failed the weight, always done my weight perfectly. That's why, you know, even though I lost that much weight, my stamina was still good, my strength was still good. I was as fast in the 12th round as I was in the first, because I did it, even though I gave myself a mountain to climb, I did it proper. But unfortunately, what happens with that, over longevity, sooner or later, you know, it's all right when you're young, but then, you know, years and years and years of doing it, sooner or later your body just goes, can't do it no more. And I think that's what happened round about the Pacquiao fight, you know, and just round about that era. I knew myself, you know, I got beat by Mayweather, then I boxed Juan Lascano at City, didn't box too great, but then I boxed Paulie Malignaggi in my next fight and became the first man to stop him. And I thought to myself, I feel it now, I know my own body. I've reached that point in my career where it's not happening, not quite getting out of the way as I was, not quite landing them as perfect. But then the opportunity come to fight Manny Pacquiao. So what you're going to do, you know, there's another opportunity to fight the best pound for pound fighter in the world. So I took it on and it didn't go well, but just up in weight, down in weight, up in weight, down in weight. You know, sooner or later your body just goes, and I can't describe it. I always got in shape. I always cut no corners, but you just know, you know, you can't quite get out of the way of them. You can't, you know, instead of landing them like that, you're landing them like that. You know what I mean? Your body just, you know. And to be honest with you, you know, thing is with boxing, if anything that damages your body, don't do it. You know what I mean? It's not like your job is stacking shelves or, you know, fixing cars or something like that. Your body pays your wages. So what I was doing, if I could turn the clock back, I think I'd have done things differently. Yeah. Pardon? You wouldn't fight at all, or you just stopped doing that? No, I ended up making a comeback because I always thought, I maybe still got it, and I made a comeback, and I think I was winning the fight, but then he got me with a body shot, and he knocked me out in the 10th round. But I could retire happy then, because, you know, like most fighters, I've still got it. I've got one more fight in me, and I found out that I hadn't. so I could retire happy then. Puncher I ever fought, I'd say Manny Pacquiao. But because he knocked me out in the 2nd round. But like I mentioned earlier, I was well past my best by then. You know, we're up and down in weight, and you know, and don't forget, you know, the Pacquiao fight was my 44th fight, and when you're up and down in weight and you fight like I fight, you know, wasn't destined to have a really long career. My style, if you're a Floyd Mayweather who avoids shots and takes no punches and that, you can probably box a little bit further. Yeah. But I was a little bit past my best. But yeah, I would probably say Pacquiao, even though I was a little bit past my best. But also, there was a guy I boxed years ago called Vince Phillips, and I absolutely knocked 10 bells out of him. But in the 4th round, I thought I had him in the 4th round. I hit him with a shot, and he went like that. So I rushed in to finish him, and he just went whack with an uppercut, and it hit me right on the chin, and like that with my front leg like that first. I thought, oh my God, if he'd have hit me again straight after, I think he might have done me, to be honest with you. But I stayed close and grabbed him and got through it, and I ended up knocking lumps out of him, to be honest with you. But I thought I've got him here, overcompensated, and went right onto one, and oh my Lord. You know, it's when you put your foot in the swimming pool and nothing's there. Right. So yeah, it's scary.
What was the highlight of your career?
Highlight of my career? I say beating Kostya Tszyu. Because, you know, you can be a world champion, which is an incredible achievement, but with there being different versions of world titles, WBO, WBA, IBF, IBO, WBC, you can be a world champion, doesn't mean you're the best in your weight. So, but Kostya Tszyu was the best in the weight. He was also number 2 pound for pound, and he was knocking everyone out, you know, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and nobody thought I was I was going to do it, but he was an animal, massive puncher. But in typical Ricky Hatton fashion, I jumped down his throat, stayed on top of him, and and I made him quit on his stool at the end of the 11th round. And they said at the time, if I would have beat him, he'd go down as one of the best ever wins from a British fighter. That's where it still stays today. Yeah, I used to do, start off with your 4-rounders when you sparred, pretty much start your training camp. And then you build up to 6, then to 8, then to 10, then to 12. Probably do a couple of 6 rounds. Some people spar Monday to Friday, 12 rounds every day. And I think that's criminal. That's like miles on the clock. The damage that's doing to you, sparring 12 rounds, for weeks and weeks on end. But we used to always do 12 rounds in the gym, or it meant 6 rounds sparring, 6 body belt, or 8 rounds sparring, 4 body belt. I used to get the rounds out that way, rather than, if you think about it, if you're doing like you're coming down the home straight, your training camp, 4 weeks, Monday to Friday, 12 rounds, Monday to Friday. You're not going to last. You're not going to last for too long. So, I think we got it right. Yeah.
What advice would you give any fighters in the same situation?
I think anyone who's suffering from mental health or depression or whatever you've got, I think the best thing is you can go and speak to someone. I think I was. I don't know if did you see my documentary? I had a documentary out at Sky Sports, and I don't think people knew how bad it was, because I was suicidal. Tried killing myself several times, but didn't want to go and my partner at the time didn't want to worry my partner, didn't want to worry my mum and dad and my family or my mates, so I kept it to myself, and it drove me, sent me into a really, really bad place. And I thought I can do anything in that boxing ring. I can beat him, do this, do that, but I can't do this on my own. So I went and spoke to someone, and I felt more comfortable speaking to a stranger. You found you can unload more with someone you don't know. And I said, listen, I'm trying to kill myself every day. I said, you need to help me, otherwise if you can't help me today, I said, I don't think I'll be here next week. And he said, come in, and I started going every day and then every other day and got myself in a little routine, and in the end I've never looked back now. Thank you. Boxing, well, it's pretty much happened after boxing, so I got beat by Manny Pacquiao. I was devastated. I'd fallen out with my trainer, Billy Graham. I'd fallen out with my mum and dad, and my relationship had just come to an end. And I got beat by Pacquiao, so I had to retire. So all of them come in close succession. So I didn't care whether I lived or died. I thought, I've got no boxing, I've got no missus, I've got no mum and dad, no Billy Graham, my trainer, my best mate. So I thought, what was it all for? What am I doing here? And I tried killing myself, several times. So it was after boxing. I think the one main thing is you just got to keep yourself busy. You know what I mean? And when things are going on in your head, you know what I mean? Get up, go for a walk, go for a run, go to the gym, hit the bag, do something, to fill the hours of the day. Because, the longer you sit there on your sofa going, the worse you go. You know what I mean? I know it's hard, but you've got to get off your ass and do something. Make your days busy. I'm a trainer now, and I'm an ambassador for mental health. I do motivational speeches, you know what I mean? I do stand-up comedy. Keep myself busy. And because I keep myself busy, even though I've got no boxing now, I fill my days up. So, happy now, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, Bangtao YouTube channel. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming watching me do my seminar. I think everybody's had a good day. Really enjoyed it. Gone through a little bit of what I used to do when I was fighting. So yeah, just hope everyone's enjoyed it. And you never know. Might come back here in a few years' time and do another. You never know.